I think at this point it's safe to say Activision Blizzard is the most evil video game company ever.
To be honest with you, I really don't like Electronic Arts. I don't think most people do.
Konami sucks.
I don't think Nintendo's that good of a company.
Remember the old days when basically all video game companies cared about what we thought of their games? So they created amazing games. They created titles like Red Dead Redemption, Modern Warfare, BioShock, and Halo. Those are just a few of them. So much in the video game industry has changed due to the industry growing and generating a whole ton of cash for these companies. I wanted to dive in and tell you guys why I think most video game companies suck now. Let's start with pure laziness. Video game companies have gotten so lazy with their games. There are many examples of video game companies that at one point have released good games, ones that took a lot of their time, effort, and creativity to produce for us. But lately, have been basically making the same game without any real innovation to them. An excellent example is this video game company, 2K. I don't know if you guys knew this, but 2K made BioShock. Yep, the video game company that only makes sports games now. They have been making the same fucking NBA 2K game for years now. The last NBA 2K game I purchased was NBA 2K16. They have made very minor changes to graphics, as well as only add a new roster of players with each new release. This game still looks and plays identical to the NBA 2K game I own right now. It's not that 2K isn't capable of making great games or innovating a game. They made BioShock. They have all the capability of doing this. I know 2K also released Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but this game also feels identical to previous Borderlands games. Game Freak is another great example of just shipping the same game. They have made the same Pokemon game for years now. We do have some good news though. They have announced that they will be releasing a non-Pokemon game in 2026. False promises and loyalty. Let's hope Game Freak isn't toying with us right now and they actually make a non-Pokemon game. I can count so many cases where video game companies promise to deliver on something but then totally abandon it. There are so many recent examples, even in Starfield. Bethesda promised us that the game would be very explorable, that you could do all kinds of wacky stuff.
What if we could take that feeling of being who you want to be and exploring a new world, but set it in space, where you weren't really limited in where you could go or what you could do? And that is Starfield. And that is Starfield. And that is Starfield.
With nothing for you to really explore. You have 343 with adding split screen to future Halo games, which they immediately broke with Halo Infinite. You have Activision Blizzard with adding a campaign to Overwatch 2, which was the main reason there's a 2 next to Overwatch. But now we have the same game because that didn't happen. Anytime there's a new game releasing and these video game companies announce them, they hype the fuck out of their games, telling us all these incredible things. They do this just so we can all go crazy for their games and hop on the fucking bamboozled train.
You got bamboozled. You got bamboozled. Look at you.
Unfortunately, it works too. There are very rare exceptions of games fulfilling their promises, but most of the time, they don't. Greed. Microtransactions. With the massive growth the video game industry has gone, and with the massive success of microtransactions like battle passes, loot boxes, and DLCs, it only makes sense these massive video game companies were going to be greedier than before. Not all microtransactions are terrible though. Some games implement them pretty well, with good balance between what us consumers want and what the companies want. Fortnite implements their battle passes pretty well, providing the consumers with good value and not giving them total junk. As a result of this, Epic Games makes a ton of cash with their battle passes alone. Now there are so many cases of video game companies being extremely greedy, trying to squeeze our money dry. You have 2K with their shitty microtransactions with their sports games, especially NBA 2K. They implement them in a pay-to-win manner. So if you don't buy out all their loot boxes to get that one player, your team will be dog shit. You also have EA with all their FIFA games. They implement their transactions in the same way 2K does. You have 343 with Halo Infinite. Although it isn't pay to win, it does have terrible value and scummy customization limitations. Halo games used to let you change the color of your character in basically any color, but now with Halo Infinite they added a paywall for color customization. And not only that, but you can't even choose exactly what colors you want. They give you random color generated cores and sell them by piece. Their whole shop has terrible value. I think it's like about $20 to purchase an armor set in the shop. Correct me if I'm wrong. You also have the scummiest scums, Activision Blizzard. I think most people now hate this company. They used to actually care what the players thought of their games. Now it's all about the cash grab for them. They created Overwatch 2 just so they can get rid of loot boxes, but add shitty battle passes and also put a paywall up for some of the characters. They would lock access to characters unless you bought the fucking battle pass. And if you did decide to purchase a skin from the store by just accumulating in-game currency as a free-to-play gamer, it would take you 8 months to purchase it. Don't even get me started with Diablo Immortal. Holy shit, that game is the biggest cash grab in gaming history. Greed. Selling unfinished products. Remember the times where you didn't have to worry that the game that you just purchased might be unfinished? Yeah. That isn't happening now. Now, due to corporate greed and reaching certain deadlines, we might purchase a game unbaked and raw, hoping it might one day be finished.
It's raw! It's fucking raw! It's real, okay.
Sometimes they don't even bother going back and finishing these games, and even if they do end up finishing them, it becomes too late, and they end up losing their player base. There are so many cases of this happening, and I don't get it. How are we going so backwards to the point corporates are selling us unfinished games? This has happened to so many games like Halo Infinite, Fallout 76, Cyberpunk 2077, and holy shit, do I even have to tell you guys this one? Fucking Battlefield 2042. We're all sick and tired of corporate selling us unbaked games just so they can make a quick buck off of us. I'm done pre-ordering games now. I'm done purchasing games the moment they release. I just lost faith in most of these video game companies actually delivering us a product finished. I'll rather save my money and wait for others to review the games, and I'll make my decision based on that. If you find Activision Blizzard disgusting scums, like this video and subscribe. Now, let's get back to the video. Lack of creativity. Games back then thrived with creativity. We had amazing games like Portal. Now, I'm not saying games aren't creative anymore. I'm mainly talking about the big video game companies. A lot of these companies would much rather do something safe than do something a little risky. That has the potential to be amazing. It's sad because this is how beautiful games are created, by experimenting with their formula a little. We would have never gotten games like Red Dead Redemption if Rockstar would have just stuck with making GTA games. And Red Dead Redemption is an awesome game. Same goes to Red Dead Redemption 2. These companies would also rather take a franchise and make something not even related to the originals and have the audacity to call it a sequel. Yeah, that's right, 343. I'm looking right at you. And Halo 4 and 5. Creativity in general has gone down over the years due to increase in interacting with electronic devices. People need to feel bored in order to draw some creative ideas. If people are always interacting with things like computers or phones, it makes it a lot harder to come up with creative ideas. Going back to my earlier topic, pure laziness. A lot of the time, they would much rather recycle an already existing game to make a quick buck, like 2K with their yearly sports games, instead of making a completely new game. Losing identity. Remember when Bungie made games like Halo? I know, what a beautiful trilogy. Well, now they work on Destiny. I know many other people are Destiny fans, but you cannot tell me both Halo and Destiny have the same identity, because they clearly don't. A lot of the people that were originally working on Halo at Bungie transferred over to 343. While 343 did acquire a lot of talented people from Bungie to work on future Halo games, they didn't have all of them, and they also added new faces to work on Halo. Now fast forward to current 343, they laid off a lot of talent where people have moved on. basically losing almost all of their identity. This is bound to happen to many companies because people move on, some people want to retire, others want to work on other projects, etc. The only way to truly combat this is finding like-minded people to continue working on these projects, and that can be a tough thing to achieve. Those are all the reasons why I believe most video game companies suck right now. Now, not all video game companies suck, as we have small indie companies doing a lot of the heavy lifting right now. Let me know what you guys think about current video game companies. Take care, y'all.